All right then, question 2. So using this substitution or otherwise solve this equation, but I mean if it's made that suggestion to you, that's probably a pretty good way to do it. So u is root x means we can clearly just swap out that root x here for u. Don't need to worry about the minus 20, don't need to worry about the 0, but we do need to worry about this 6x. So what a couple of people didn't spot and therefore just left that as 6x was that if u is the square root of x, then u squared would give you x itself. And so we can rewrite that as 6u squared. And we turn it into a quadratic equation, which we can go ahead and solve. So I know this factorizes. If you don't know that something factorizes, remember you can check using the discriminant. If the discriminant is a square number, then it will factorize. So if we just do b squared, so 7 squared minus 4 times 6 times minus 20, we get 529. The square root of 529, where's my square root button? Vanished too. Can't even find it, but let's use the power button. Answer to the power 0.5 would give me the square root, 23. So it's a square number. The discriminant is a square number, means that the equation will factorize. You could, of course, just plug in the values into the quadratic formula and evaluate that. What you can't do, though, with this question is just plug it into your calculator and take the solutions from there, because solutions relying on calculator technology are not acceptable. So you need some other way of solving this quadratic. So factorize it. I'm going to say it's going to be 2u and 3u. And I'm going to say it's going to be minus 4 and plus 5. That'll give me minus 8u plus 15u, which is my 7u. 5 plus minus 4 is minus 20. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Which means that u is negative 5 over 2, or u is 4/3. And that means that u squared would be 25 over 4, or 16/9. Okay, but we've got a problem here because that implies there are two values of x. But have a look what happens if we go to the graphical calculator, and there's no reason you couldn't use your graphical calculator and see what this function should look like, because that's not relying on calculator technology. You've done the working here. You're just using that to inform your answer. But if we go and have a look, this is the function 6x plus 7 root x minus 20. And we can see that it has only one root. So there can't possibly be two different values of x produced by this. Let's have a look what that root is. It's 1.778. Okay, so knowing that, and your graphical calculator, you can select to view the coordinate of the root on there. If you don't know how to do it, I'll show you. So we know there's only one correct value. We're going to have to reject one of them. So it is when we square it, we're turning it wasn't a quadratic function in the first place. Oh, what's happened to my board? Computers always go wrong. I think it's me. It's come straight back. Fantastic. So it wasn't a quadratic function, but we've turned it into one, has made an extra solution that shouldn't have been there. And I think it's probably safe to say that the solution that comes from that negative value of u is always going to be the one that we need to discard. But I've been racking my brains trying to come up with a really solid and convincing mathematical proof as to why it must always be that one. And I couldn't come up with one. So answers on a postcard, if you think you can, I'd be very, very interested to read it. But we don't need to have a convincing mathematical proof. We can check by plugging this formula into our graphical calculators what the function looks like. And were there two roots, we would be confident that both of these answers then are the right ones. As it is, there's only one. We just saw the graph. Is it 25 over 4 or 16 over 9? Just check, I'm going to say it's 16 over 9, gives us 1.777 recurring. Yeah, that was the value we had. 25 over 4 obviously won't, because it's some amount of quarters. It would end in 0.25, 0.5, 0.75 or 0. So there we go. That's the answer that we need. So x equals 16 over 9. So we just cross that one out. We don't want it. It's clear then we've rejected it. You don't have to justify why you've rejected it. We've rejected that one. We're keeping this one. X is 16 over 9. And that's question 2.